Kia ora. So listen, you'll notice in some of my videos I get emotional. Don't worry, I'm fine. It's perfectly normal. I'm a Scorpio. I'm an ascended Scorpio, and we rule the underworld and death and birth and that. So, of all the water signs, we're the ones who are going to feel the deepest. We're not afraid to go there. But probably the most emotional signs after a Scorpio would more than likely be Aries and Capricorn. Aries especially, they feel very deeply, more than Pisces and Cancer, I would have to say. And Capricorns as well. I know more emotional, deep feeling Capricorns and Aries than I do Pisces, that's for sure, and Cancers, absolutely. Um, Anyway, even very masculine men, when they have gone through an ascension process, will become emotional and the best person to use as an example of an ascended, very masculine man would be C.T. Fletcher, the weightlifter bodybuilder, the fitness guy. He's a prime example of a very, very masculine man who hit rock bottom in his life on every level that matches mine, pretty much. Just a different path, but the same journey. But he went through very similar things to me, on a different level. I'll put a link in the description box below. He's an incredible man, very, very masculine African American man who is so inspirational to young men and African American men, and anyone who wants to walk an inspired path. C.T. Fletcher is a prime example of a very masculine man who isn't afraid to express himself and show his emotions and his thoughts and feelings in the face of faith and strength, and his supporters in that. So I actually invented a protein bar because of him. That it was a sugarless protein bar for weightlifters and bodybuilders and NASA. I had NASA and C.T. Fletcher in mind for it when I developed this protein bar. But he's such an incredible, affectionate, emotional, loving man that nobody will want to cross, because he is so strong and masculine, but he has that much respect because his ascension was very public, just like mine has been. So he's a prime example of someone who's very masculine, who has gone through an ascension process, who has come out the other side, thankfully, at the top of his game. I have so much love and respect for that man. So don't be surprised if you get emotional and start crying and shed a tear. Even very masculine men who are going through the ascension process will go off and have a wee cry about the people and things that they love that they won't want anyone to know about. It's okay to cry, and it's okay to cry in front of people that you trust. I'm doing it publicly because I'm trying to show you that there is a process to this, that there is a step-by-step process that you're going to go through, that everyone who goes on an ascending path is going to follow. And so I just put it all out there so that you can see it. And don't let anyone tell you that crying is bad, because I cry about the things I love. You cry about the things you love when you're ascending, when you have access to the God frequency or the creation frequency, the atomic frequency, whatever you want to call it, heaven, the universe, spirit, whatever. When you're standing in the presence of that overwhelming love, you absorb it and you become the love that you feel. And then you want to share it with the people that you love. And there are just some people that you love who hit that spot in a way that the love is so strong, it comes out as emotional tears. It is a psychological fact that people who are mentally healthy and strong and mentally healthy aren't afraid to show their emotions. People who aren't mentally strong and mentally unhealthy don't show emotion. They won't cry. They won't express love or emotion that kind of way. So if you suddenly go from being someone who's never shown emotion, and then you go through an ascension and you find yourself getting emotional when you see a kitten or a baby, or you see a photo of somebody that you love so much, that love that you have for them it's like a yearning just to be in their presence because they light you up so much. That's when you're in the presence of pure love. Whether you're feeling it and sharing it with other people, or you're receiving it from someone who's ascending, that is pure love. That's how you know it is real love, it is honest love, it is true love, because they wear their, my mother used to say, Debbie, you wear your heart on your sleeve for everyone to take a bite of. My heart's made of armour now. The only people who have access to that kind of feeling for me are the people who never left my side, supported me 100%, picked me up when I was down, motivated me when I thought there was going to be no end in sight, inspired me, as well as obviously my gods and ancestors who, if you know my social media, haven't left my side this entire process. I've documented virtually almost every bit of contact I've had with my gods and ancestors, and your gods and ancestors, because they come to me to show me how to help you so that you can help yourself. I'm a medium, it's my job to bridge the gap, to help you get to the other side so that you can have that relationship with them yourself. And once you start tapping into that, which is when you start getting to the air and ether stage of your ascension, communication, the psychology, like learning to deal with, how you deal with your emotions and your thought processes, and the way that you express yourself to the people that you love, or that, the way you want to express yourself to someone or people that, like, I've never told them how I feel. I'm ready to tell them how I feel. Or, even on the other side of the air stage of an ascension, expressing yourself, telling someone, you hurt me, I didn't like that, blah, blah, blah. And receiving it from other people too, because like if there's things you need to work on yourself with, obviously the ascension process is, and the people that come and go from your life during that are going to help you have to, and even sometimes force you to have to deal with things you don't want to look at, but it's for the greater good. You hurt my feelings, like I'm sorry I cheated, or, blah, blah, blah. But when you're in the air to ether stage and you're starting to be introduced to your ancestors, and this is the thing you need to understand, when you're going through the ether stage, from air to ether, the ether stage is when you will start having dreams about your ancestors and the people who are going to be important to you in the future. The ether stage is when you start being introduced to your ancestors and your loved ones on the other side. That's the sixth stage of ascension. The seventh stage is when you actually get to step into the creation frequency without any pain, physically, mentally, emotionally, and you get to see everything. Now I'm eighth element, which means I can control all of that without, I can use my words, or, my pen is my sword. Having control over all of that in order to be able to watch everybody else coming up behind me so that I can guide them on the right path. So don't be afraid if you find yourself getting emotional. Even the hardest people have that thing that pulls on their heartstrings that will make them emotional. And for a lot of people who are starting to go through an ascension at the moment, especially around me, who were battle hardened and closed off to emotions and feelings, and now starting to soften around me. like I'm finding men suddenly, they're not swearing around me, they're opening doors for me, they're not using certain language around me anymore, they've completely stopped. And they're becoming more gentlemanly and chivalrous and, very sort of protective, and all the men in my life. Um, because, you start rubbing off on people who start identifying you as a kindred soul, I guess. Like attracts like. And you can go into this being the ascended one and be around someone who isn't ascended, but just spending time with them will make them ascend. That's happening to me a lot, especially around my neighbourhood. The changes I'm seeing in my neighbours and that, it's just beautiful to see. I love it. Everything has just completely calmed down now. We're not getting visits from cops and ambulances and fights and drunken brawls. Like, everything's just completely calmed down. And yeah, I'm seeing, like, the men in my neighbourhood sort of being more open and receptive to feminine, energy. Because all the men in my thing, they're very masculine, like high vis, they have jobs where they have to wear high vis vests and, proper art Yorkshiremen, you know. But even they're turning gooey, which I just love. They're my gooey boys. But anyway, yeah, so don't be afraid if you find yourself becoming more courteous, kinder to people who serve you in stores, more patient with waiters and waitresses, and opening doors for people, doing things, acts of kindness and that you never used to do before. Because when you're ascending, once you feel that love, you have an overwhelming need to want to spread the love, and that's just a beautiful side effect. So don't let anyone judge you or laugh at you for crying, because, like I said, people who have an imbalance between their emotion and their psychology, like their heart and their mind, can't express themselves in a healthy way like that. They don't know how. They don't know how to cry. Whereas when you go through an ascension, all the things that you talk about that just mean so much to you will make you cry. And it's perfectly natural, I promise you. So don't worry about it if you find yourself starting to cry. And if you need to cry in front of people that you trust, it's okay to go to the people that you trust to have a good cry, because you know that they'll have your back. All the people I know, they know they can come to me 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, no matter what I'm doing. Other than when I'm with my children, I don't give up my time for anyone but my kids. And if I'm with my kids and you call or anything like that, everybody knows that if I'm with my kids, I'm not going to reply until I'm done with my kids. But yeah, just, if you need me, I'm here. If you want to have a cry, I'm here. If you need to have a talk, I'm here. And I won't judge, because I know what you're going through. And don't let anyone tell you that what you're thinking and feeling is wrong. They will never understand, because it's not them going through it, it's you. And until they go through it themselves, they're never going to understand. So don't even try and explain what you're going through to someone who isn't going through it either. Okay? That's why I'm here. I'll speak to you later. Ka kite anō. Mwah.